As the Microsoft Atlanta building rises into existence here in our city, we will all rise and shine together with the launch of Microsoft's The Garage Atlanta, showcasing the many thought-provoking artists and visionaries right within our company. The Garage Atlanta is committed to stoking creativity and innovation and building and fostering our Atlanta community. Learn from local artists, be inspired so we can all shine together. Rise and shine, Microsoft Atlanta. We'll meet you at the Garage.
When the garage meets the garage, Nika, we are sitting in the studio, straight to tell, and we're gonna tell it today. I am so excited to meet you. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation. But you got another invitation recently. Tell us about it.
Yes, Leandra, I did get another invitation from Microsoft, who is coming to Atlanta, Atlantic Yards to be specific, and I got invited to do a mural in their space.
Say it again, girl.
I got invited to do a mural in the Microsoft space in Atlanta.
I'm so excited for you.
Hey, thank you for having me.
I'm so proud. I didn't even know you. And I was like, I'm so proud of you, baby. Like I gave birth to you.
That's what it is. If I see another woman doing her thing, I'm just like, yes, you got this.
Yes,
Especially another black woman, like, hey, yes.
Yeah.
You're doing wonderful, sweetie.
And we are excited to see your artwork rise in the space. Tell me about how we got to this space. So we're talking about the now. Let's talk about where we began and how you rose to be the artist that you are.
Oh God, it's always like a funny thing. Like a cheesy, typical artist. I've been doing art or just been attracted to it like since I was a kid. So I just kind of like already knew this was something I wanted to do. It's just like in my DNA. If I'm having a bad day, like sometimes it's just because I haven't created anything in a while. So I'll draw, and that's a way for me to release. So there's that. So just like automatically loving it and just doing it for myself. And then as I got older, I was like, okay, I want to do what I love. I don't want to just like, you know, work a 9 to 5. I want to actually like just like live a full life and love what I do.
I see storytelling in your art. So how do you tell a story?
I like to tell a story through a visual language. So when I'm designing, I'm really, in a way, creating a language, like almost like hieroglyphics. Like how do I get this across that's immediate? Because before even there was language, there was like someone pointing at an apple and be like this, right? So I'm just like, how do I do that? How do I like, you see it and it's just like that emotion, that feeling, you know what I'm talking about type of thing. But yeah, like
the unspoken language.
The unspoken language. That language of 1,000 words, right? A picture?
Yeah, a picture says 1,000 words.
Yeah, that's it.
That's how I approach my PowerPoints, girl. Sometimes all those bullet points that you see people, that's a no. Just imagery, folks. I just wish I could paint like you.
I mean, just pick
Is
up
it
a brush,
possible?
start. Look.
Is it possible? Don't
I'm
reel me
like,
up.
I honestly, every art teacher says this and everyone like rolls their eyes, but like everyone's an artist. At the end of the day, we really all are. If you can make a line, you're like basically there. you're there.
In the garage, we say there are no bad ideas. And there are no bad ideas, folks. There are some that just take a little bit of development.
Yeah, that's all.
Same thing, right?
That's all.
So let me ask you about your process. Is there a process? Do you draw first and then go from there?
Yeah, so the process is, it sometimes starts on like paper and just like a pencil, or sometimes it starts with a computer, but mostly like I'll get the idea or like that one word and I'll just like go out, wander for a bit, figure it out. But yep, drawing on the computer, and then once I have like the design figured out and rendered, the technique I've been using, it's like mainly projection. So you just like project it up on the wall and you just like draw it, just trace it out, and then from there it's kind of like paint by numbers. So like that's all the hard part, but like once you get to the painting, I throw my headphones on, super zen, just like that's my favorite part. It's just like me, the wall, some paint, it's getting done.
Wow.
But yeah.
So is there a piece that you've worked on that you look at it with the utmost pride, like this is the piece? You remember the zone you were in when you were working on it?
I think the thing that brought me the most joy, actually I did with my fellow creatives here at Straight to Tell, we did a mural in the West End. We worked with a woman named Ash and Powerhouse Creative, and we worked with the community in the West End. We brought a mural to that community, and it featured 3 major civil rights leaders, Johnny Lewis, Vivian.
Good Trouble.
Yes, Good Trouble, all that. And
Yeah.
Joseph E. Lowry. And just being there and painting the mural, like the design was one thing, but actually being there physically painting and getting to interact with the people, like you have people just like rolling up, be like, I love this. Like you have like everybody from like the grandmother who's lived up the street for forever to like a young kid just like coming past, be like, no, this is fire. And I'm like, just getting the approval from the people,
That's
like
right.
the actual people who you are serving, because at the end of the day, I'm creating something to service them.
Yeah.
So it was wonderful. So like I like to drive past, I'm like, oh, it's there in the community.
It's okay to keep the people in mind. Some people consider that to be people please, like you're a people pleaser. No, 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 no. I am of the people. I serve the people. It's community driven. It's community, and you know, we have a group at Microsoft. Well, it's not necessarily a group, it's a program, Humans of IT. Because even in the tech world, sometimes people overlook themselves. You know, it's a sense of wellness. And so people have stories to tell. There are people in tech that fail, you know, but you have, you know, through sharing their failure and rising up, if you will, you know, hey, it's all about the community. Whatever you can do to help motivate and empower the next person.
Yeah, and like failure is how you learn.
That's
like,
how
I
you
love
learn,
that. Yeah.
you know? And it's not romanticizing failure. That is not what it is. It's about how did you walk through that? How did you come out on the other end? And sometimes you come out with something great like your artwork. Has there ever been a point in your journey as an artist where you were like, okay, stuck? You know how people say you have writer's block as a writer? Have you ever found yourself in that position?
Oh yes, like after college, I literally did not know what I was gonna do. Even during, you're always gonna come to a point when you're working on something where you just don't know what you're doing. Like you have to step back from it and you just have to see the big picture. And I feel like that happens a lot, and it happened in art and it happens in life. So it's just like learning how to step back and really look at a work and walk away from it and kind of just like meditate on it and come back to it. Like, yeah, like those hangups are gonna happen, but sometimes like they need to happen. Your brain can only work, you can only do so much for so long. Like you really have to step back, take a breather, and then things reveal themselves to you, and then you're able to go from there. But
Good advice.
Do you remember like your first piece of art, your first drawing maybe?
It's funny, I don't remember it, but I remember it through like, again, storytelling. Like my mom reference, like my kindergarten teacher pulled her aside, was like, she drew, the drawing was just a drawing of the globe, right? We all had to draw the globe. And she pulled my mom aside and she was like, this globe is very accurate. And like, that was just, I guess, the start for my mom realizing, maybe a little bit for me realizing that like I was doing something a little bit above average. I've always just drawn and just always been attached to art, and just making things. It's always kind of been a part of who I am. So it's been with me from the very start of the start.
So your teacher had an eye for art. Your kindergarten teacher, you know, the primary teachers specifically, for me, my experience, they are some of the most creative educators ever. You have to be, because you got to stimulate the kids at such a young age. So what was your motivation to build upon what your teacher and your mother identified as a possible craft?
There's two parts to that, I guess I would say. So coming out of high school, you're already thinking like, what are you going to do? And for me, I knew I wanted to do something creative. So funny enough, my first thought was like fashion design. But then I quickly realized I am not a fashion designer. Like I respect it and I love the craft so much, but it's not really for me. And so I basically went back to the root of what I've always done, which is drawing, and that just being my first initial thing. That's like the first part of it. And then it's funny that you said at some point we feel like we lose that. I remember specifically just like sitting, I think it was like, I don't know, we're eating, it's like as a family, and one of my cousins, he's like an older cousin, but not too much older, like the young fun cousin who's like a little bit older than you. He was like, he drew something, he was like, man, I haven't drawn in a minute. I got to a certain point where I always used to draw, and he was looking at my drawings and he was like, I always used to draw, but then I just stopped. And I don't know, when he said that, like that made my heart hurt. I was like, wait, what do you mean you just stopped doing this? But now, like, the older I get, the more I understand what he meant by that, and how, like, you kind of just go through life. And we, like, there's a lot of things that happen. We have to get distracted, or we just find other interests, but it is something that is in all of us. And for me, it's just something that, like, I've always wanted to, like, cling through, like, for everything.
I went to school. I went to Georgia State. Shout out.
Go Panthers. We'll take it.
Yes. Went to Georgia State Ernest G. Wells School of Art, where I was able to learn about all these different places in art you can land. So, like, there's studio art, there's, like, textile art, there's printmaking. There's so much. That's really where I think I found out that Atlanta really, it's a kinship. When you're an artist, you're building a kinship in Atlanta, because you will all, like, even though I was just textiles, like, textiles interacted with printmaking, interacted with the painters. Like, we all saw each other. We all were doing something. Like, you could be a textile artist who was also at a zine fest, who also was at a fashion show. It's just like, it all blends together so beautifully. But to get back to the point, textiles was unique to me because it was a department full of mainly women or femme-identifying folks, LGBTQ. It was just this space it felt othered from every other medium. So I learned about this when I went to college, was that in the art world, there's kind of like a hierarchy within mediums. So you have oil painting at the top, like your Mona Lisas. If the Mona Lisa was oil paint, I don't know, it's so old. And then, like, at the bottom, I learned is like craft, untaught, like fiber art. It's kind of towards that bottom, like, maybe because it's functional, but it's also been, like, thought of just women's work. Like, even within the art world, a lot of society hierarchy still exists within that world, even though it's such a like alternate culture, right? You would think it's more forward thinking, but sometimes it's set back. And like, you learn about this the more you get into it. But I really love the community there, because we're all, like, not only were we othered within the art world, we're othered, like, in the actual world. So you build this bond with people, and you really learn, and you kind of build yourself up, and you start to learn how to, like, dismantle these systems. And it's like all this through art, like through an art class. So it was just really beautiful. It was healing. That kind of really got me into art, thinking about it conceptually and thinking about it, like, how it affects people socially and how it really reflects on the world. And then from there, like, getting out of college and just going out in the real world, I was just like, so what do I really want to do with it? What do I really want to say? And, like, murals, it just kind of clicked, because I already just, like, was used to drawing. So I was like, putting something on the wall, and, like, what does that feel like, and what does that do? And the thing about murals is it's very public, and I love that, because you get to meet somebody, like, on their way walking to the grocery store, they'll see a mural, and it's like, like, you get to meet them at this point where they're very comfortable. So, like, you can start having these, like, interesting conversations with them, just, like, through your art. So if you come across my art, as long as you look at it and you feel yourself being reflected, you feel like you see, like, your community reflected, that's kind of what I want to get at. I just want to get at starting these conversations around real people, just like the people you see, like, our shared histories, like, whether that be, like, a healing aspect, or, like, talking about some really tough stuff and figuring out how to go from that, or just, like, thinking about things in a different way. That's really what I want. But one way that many people describe it, is, like, Afrofuturistic, which is interesting. But looking more into Afrofuturism, and after reading it, all it is like, what can our world look like if it was just more diverse, more, like, open to, like, new things, if we just did things in a different way. So if that's what it's being described as, I'm very happy with that.
Awesome. Growth mindset, building community, reflection. I hear all of that in what you just said, and again, I'm excited to see it. Now, you mentioned your artwork, and you said futuristic, is it African futuristic, right, or Afrofuturistic? That's a mouthful.
It switches, because again, it's so alive, but I would say it always has a Black perspective, because me, myself, I am Black. I'm a Black woman. I live in the South, so my perspective is going to be shaped by this body that I'm in. So
absolutely,
it's always going to have that perspective. Futuristic maybe in the sense not of sci-fi, but futuristic is in, like, what can our future be? Like, where are we headed?
Okay, future forward. I like that.
Are you in a certain headspace when you're creating a piece of art? And if so, what motivates you, or how do you set the tone when you're ready to get the work?
It's funny. When I'm ready to do the work, it's stepping away from it is the first thing I kind of do or try to do. Because I notice sometimes when I am in it, I'm in it. When it clicks, and I'm just like, I already know what's going on. I got this. Like, the gears are turning. But for something a little bit more, when I don't have that immediate response, I do like to kind of like step away, keep it on my mind, but let like that subconscious part of you just start working. Because like your brain will like automatically do it for you. Like it will automatically kind of be on something. If you give it a prompt, like if you give it one word, it'll find it wherever it needs to find it. So stepping away and really just like reflecting on it always helps me come up with an idea.
When do you know the work is done? Like what's complete to you?
Oh, that's funny. It's really funny because I'll think something's complete and I could walk past it and be like, I should have added that there. So part of me wants to say never, and then part of me is like, it's complete for now, but I'll just know. Like, I'll look at it and I'll be like, okay, it's time to step away. It's done. Like, we're there.
Yeah.
Okay, so today Atlanta is your home, but are you originally from Atlanta?
No, I'm not. I'm originally from New Orleans. I would say the places I've been has definitely shaped who I am now.
Yeah, thank you for pointing out the city of Atlanta and the diversity is very important. You know, the art that you do, what you lend to the community is an example of that diversity. And you all do a great job as a family of artists here in the city. You do an excellent job of reflecting the diversity and giving voice to those who don't generally have a voice. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you. It's just, the city really was the city that let me grow creatively, and like it was my adulthood, so I'm like able to like really face certain challenges and get to know so many people because it's such a diverse community here. So that was really beautiful. But I'm also from New Orleans, and that's just, it's an art city, it's a French city, so that kind of already birthed that importance of art to me. So yeah, like all around Southern heritage.
Soul food is huge in the Black community, right? It is expression in itself. We call in our houses, you know, in the kitchen, it's like the soul or the heart of our household. So there are a lot of ingredients that goes into soul food that makes it just that unique dish. If Unica could be a spice, what would you be and why?
I'm gonna say garlic. Garlic slept on. It's like, it may be smelly, whatever, but like, you need a little bit of garlic sometimes. It's just like a good like pungent. It's like here. Garlic is like, if it walks in the room, it's like, I'm here. I'm here, I'm at a baseline, but you know I'm here. You know, I keep vampires away. It's great.
I'll take it.
Yes.
Well, again, thank you so much for joining us. I am looking forward to seeing your artwork at Microsoft Atlanta, more specifically Atlantic Yards. And I'm going to try to steal you just for a moment and hopefully get some of that artwork in the garage at Atlanta as well.
Yes, let me know.
All right.
Thank you, Leandra.
Thank you.